I used to talk about gizmos and gadgets all the time. In fact, my podcast was originally called just that, Loan Officer Gizmos and Gadgets. That's what it was. And I haven't really spoke about a gadget in a long time, but I wanted to talk about one today. And this is following up my last podcast. And we're going to get into it right here, right now at the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. Hello, I'm your host, Frank Array, and welcome to another episode. I believe it was last week, if not, it was the week before, that I spoke about the recap text and doing three-way texting, and just as a means to engage with the lead and also keep your real estate partner or your referral partner updated. And in that podcast, I told you that I had started working with a system that I had found called Emitter, which is I think it's EMITRR.com, Emitter. And this is a newer platform. It's pretty inexpensive. In fact, they haven't even billed me yet, which is really kind of weird. It's like, do you guys want my money? It's kind of strange, but they're a little bit of a startup, I think. And so they're $99 a month for up to 2,000 texts. And then after that, it's really reasonable if you go beyond that. And so the whole premise behind it is to have a simple team texting platform so that I can create that text group of everybody that's in the transaction, and we can update and communicate through that as a team. So if I need to say something to everyone in the group, I can jump in there and say it. If my loan partner, Teresa, if she needs to say something to the group, update people, she can do it, et cetera, et cetera. And so, yeah, we found it. And on the last podcast, I said, hey, I don't even know how well it works or what's going on. I'm not endorsing it by any means. And I would say I'm still not necessarily endorsing it or telling you to go out and get it. But I will tell you that so far, it's been good, man. It's been good. Now, an interesting thing is that it had some bots in there that I wasn't aware of that kind of started engaging with some people. And the product was defaulted to Eastern time, and I'm in Pacific time. So it was doing a couple little things that I wasn't aware that it was going to do. It was texting people that tried to call in onto that number and texting them something very bot-like, hi, how can I help you? Is there anything I can do for you? Which made no sense based on the conversation that had happened before. So figured that out. So if you do wind up getting this product, I'm going to put the link down below if you're listening to us here on the podcast network with Marketing Animals. But if you do wind up getting the product, just make sure that the bots are all squared away. You do have kind of an indoctrination Zoom call with them where they walk you through the system, but make sure to make note, hey, I want to make sure that my auto responses are what I want them to be or not there or whatever the case may be. Also, they have it defaulted to Eastern time kind of internally. There was nothing I could do on my end to change it to Pacific time. I had to call them and get them to switch it for me, which they did. And it just took a minute. Now, that also leads me to the support on this. They have a phone number. So when you click support, there's an email and a phone number. That's all there is. It's like email here or call this number. I've used the phone every time. I've only had to call them a few times, but they answer every time, and they're very, very helpful on the phone. They're very, very good. And so I would tell you that this Emitter has proven to be a worthwhile product to take a look at. I'm not saying it's the one to get. You may have other ones that you like better or whatever, but this one, inexpensive, easy to create the groups, easy to communicate, even have your little text signature so that when someone on the group text gets a text from your team, they know which team member is saying it. Really, really cool. And I tell you, we've really embraced the recap text, the using texting as a mechanism of communicating what's going on the file, and which not only updates the partner, but also not only updates the client, but of course updates the partner as well. And I have been getting nothing but great feedback on it. So it's a worthwhile thing to do. And this product, Emitter, is a good product to do it with, guys. Oh, here's the other thing that I'll tell you is sometimes when you have companies that are kind of newer, getting started, which I believe these guys are, based on my experience, way that it feels. Um, if they have a mobile app, sometimes the app can be lacking, right? For example, there's a CRM that I use, that I still use, that has a mobile app, but I tell you, it lacks so bad, and it's a shame, because if the mobile app was really functional, it would be much more powerful system, but it lacks, right? It's not very useful. But in this case, with Emitter, um, it's very, very good. The mobile app is great. So even if you're not in front of your computer or what have you, you're getting notified when communications come through. You can communicate right from your phone, no problem. Again, the recipient knows who responded, that kind of thing. I've even found I've even found that I've communicated on one particular thread. My teammate had a misunderstanding about something, and then I was able to correct it in the text thread. So I was even communicating back to my team member on what's going on. So, but that was kind of nice, because the information that she was unclear on, when she made that text to the group, I knew that the agent and the client and I knew what was the proper thing going on, or what was clear. So I knew when they saw that come from her, they were thinking she doesn't know what's going on here, right? So I was able to jump in on the text thread and clear it up on the text thread, and then now they knew that I cleared it up, right? So again, they were all updated. Oh, Frank cleared it up, right? So it's just very useful. It's a very useful method of communicating. It's very reminiscent to, and I brought this up on the last podcast. It's very reminiscent to, like, when you, best way I can describe it is like my wife and I like to go to Monterey for vacations, weekend getaways, and there's a particular hotel that we go to there, and but not always the same, but a couple of them, and they all use this sort of team text platform. So when you check in, they start communicating to you through a little group text, and oftentimes it's different people, like it's the front desk or the concierge or the valet, or it's the restaurant where you have the restaurant and the hotel where you have a reservation, but it's all on that same number. It comes through on that same text, and you just can tell who's talking to you. And I always found that to be extremely useful. I thought, wow, this is really great. What a great way of communicating. And so that's what this is all about, is just being able to communicate efficiently and get everyone updated at one time, and not having people trying to sift through emails, right, to find some sort of communication. Or if there was a phone call that was made where you felt you were being clear to someone, but they didn't quite get what you were saying, and so now they're thinking that particular conversation didn't happen, or wasn't communicated properly, where there can be confusion, right? This group texting system as a means of communicating everything that's going on in the file. And guys, I take it from the inception of the lead through the entire process to the close. It becomes the communicating platform number. That number becomes the communication number where everybody gets involved. So, example, I've got a transaction right now. It was just myself, my loan partner, my realtor partner, right, and the lead, because he was just a lead at the time. He hadn't bought anything yet. And so that's where communication had started, where we would, my partner would send an email saying, hey, I sent you a punch list of items that I need. Get on the recap text and say, hey, I just wanted to let you know I sent the email letting you know the items that I need, right? Then I could chime in and say, hey, be sure you get that done. Can you get that done by today? And then they respond back, so my agent all knows. Now we're in contract. So now that we're in contract, now I've included the transaction coordinator for the real estate agent into the group text, right? They're included. I've also included my escrow officer into the group text. So now we've got everybody in. So now anytime we need to communicate anything, we're updating everybody, right? Oh, not only that, but now my realtor's transaction coordinator can say something if he or she needs to. Oh, not only that, but my escrow person can communicate easily with the entire group as well. that she just merely needs to say what's going on. Got a signing scheduled. Notary has been assigned. Whatever the case may be, that everybody knows what's going on. So it becomes beneficial not only for my team, but it becomes beneficial for everyone in the transaction. The realtor partner can communicate to everybody now, right? Everybody can communicate in this little box that we call a little group text from this team-based system that we're using. And in this case, it happens to be Emitter, which is I'll just do a double check on that just to make sure. Yeah, EMITRR.com, Emitter. And again, very inexpensive. They're very helpful. They like to do things on a Zoom to show you, so you're not just kind of lost trying to figure something out. Their support is very good. I primarily use the phone, is what I used. I was surprised that they answered very early for me, right? I was calling them at 6 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, but that's 9 Eastern. I think they are in New Jersey or something like that. But they, very responsive. The system works great. It's easy to understand. It's clear. You can see your different conversations, and it's just a great team texting platform for keeping everybody updated as to what's going on. You can engage with it, or anyone else on your team. Oh, that's another thing. So I added, I think I've got, it's me, Teresa, Katie, Ashton, Bill. So there's 5 of us that are quote unquote owners, quote unquote team members in the system. So any one of those people on my team can communicate into any one of these group text communication pieces that we got going on, any one of these group text. So it makes it really useful. So if you've got a large team, let's say it's you got a partner, you got a processor, you got an assistant, anybody who's engaging in the file, they can all be in the system as a team member with their own little signature, and they can all engage with the group. So I don't know, it just makes it really, really nice. I just wanted to report that I am pleased with the product. I'm pleased with it so far. We've only got a handful of transactions in there so far, but you know what, man, it's been going well. People appreciate it. The agents have given me nothing but good feedback on it, saying this is great. I know what's going on, and that's been very, very helpful. So yeah, that's about it. That's what I just kind of wanted to roll out this week as an actual gadget that I've been using that I've enjoyed. It's been helpful, and if this is something that you're looking for, you may want to give these guys a try. Emitter, EMITRR.com. If you're listening to this podcast on the Loan Officer Podcast Network for the Mortgage Marketing Animals, which is loanofficerpodcastnetwork.com, for any of you who are not listening on that platform who might want to look at it, because there's a lot of podcasts there. Loan Officer podcastnetwork.com. The link will be down below for them, so you can link straight to them. There's no discounts or anything if you're Mortgage Marketing Animal member. This hasn't been officially rolled out by Animals or anything like that, or endorsed in any way, but it is one that I do like, and I'm digging it. So yeah, so with that, I'll go ahead and get on out of here. I would also encourage you guys a couple things. Number one, if you're not joining us on Loan Officer Breakfast Club every Monday through Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time to 9 a.m. Eastern time, man, I would just so encourage you to do that. We're averaging, 350 to 450, sometimes 500 people a day are there, and it's just growing. We've got over 22,000 originators across the country that have opted into the Zoom call. We've got over 16,000 people in the Facebook group, and it's just this real vibrant community. Everybody helping each other out. It's really, really nice. Of course, it's completely free. You definitely want to do that. Just go to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com, loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. And I will remind you too, that we do have a boot camp coming up at the end of the year. And I'm going to give you a link so you'll always know the next event that's coming, right? It's always updated. So it's Mastermind Retreats with an S on the end, mastermindretreats.com, mastermindretreats.com. If you go there, you can always see when the next boot camp is, when it's coming up. You can register to get there. I would really encourage you to do so. If you get to the boot camp, you're going to be on the fast track to getting stuff done. Today, we had a guy in Breakfast Club, 20-year LO, sharing about his week last week, and just stating that, basically just saying how being a part of the Mortgage Marketing Animals, attending the boot camp, hanging out on Breakfast Club has completely revolutionized his business and has just really taken him I hate that word, taking it to a next level, but it has. He's doing a lot of business right now where a lot of other people aren't, and it's all because of the boot camp of being part of Mortgage Marketing Animals, Call Stars, and Loan Officer Breakfast Club. So anyway, with all that, I would encourage you to get there. I would encourage you to come to Breakfast Club. And if you're interested in this text platform, Emitter, it's emittrr.com. I like it. It's working well for me so far. And that's that. So with that, I'll go ahead and get the heck on out of here. You guys have a fantastic week, and I'll catch up here with you next week on the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.